we'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm standing in front of my truck and a pile of pressure-treated lumber. And today we're gonna start working on the iguana enclosures. Got a lot to do, even though they're already screened and everything. Doors, dividing walls, hide box slabs. It's a lot of work and kind of a short time to do it because there is another iguana coming. And I think it is the 5th animal down the row. So I might as well just finish those 6 enclosures this week. Back under the gun, back under the gun. I have all the hinge sets and handles and locks and all that stuff ready to go. I kind of wish that I was in a different financial situation when I started all these enclosures, because these hinge sets are $32. If I just used like a galvanized T-hinge and a galvanized handle, which would look almost as good, it'd be less than half of that. But I just bought it in these hinge sets, and I can't even save money and get the non-hammered one, which is quite a bit less, but the handle is sold separately, and then they want $12 for the handle, and then it ends up being $33. So believe it or not, that's the most cost-effective way to buy that. Maybe Amazon, I could have saved some money, I don't know. But it's the last 6 I have to buy. So I have this pile of corral boards that we've been working on for quite a while. So we're gonna burn through that pile for the dividing walls. I think that's what we're gonna attack first. Inside there, we have, right next to the side-by-side, is a pile of reclaimed corral boards that we can use for stripping on the doors, on the, even for some of the walls. If we need more than what we have over there, we have lumber there. Hopefully we don't have to buy any. Chop saw is already set up in the shade. I'm sure we'll have to move it as the day goes on. As much as I don't want to do this, the wood shop area is still piled up with lumber that I haven't organized yet. Haven't had the time to do that. So the floor space is not all open in there, but there's a lot of floor space in the bar area. So when we start on the doors, we could line up and cut the lumber for all 6 doors, set them up, screw them all together, screen all of them, and strip all of them, and get past that step. Don't know if we can do all that in one day. Lily, ivy. One of the young black dragons. There's Boba dipping out because he's not used to the golf cart yet. The golf cart will make this chore 10 times faster, because every cut and running lumber over here on the back of the golf cart is way faster, and I can walk that distance. So I'll be able to just loop around the backyard, right back to the saw, and then right back here every time. So as you see, there are no doors, there are no door stops, there's no trim on the screen here. I do have to check the backside. Do we have the backside trimmed? I think we finished that. Ouch, we did not. So we still have to trim the backside of these enclosures before they're ready. This side is done. So the backside, oh gosh. And not just the backside, but we have to loop the electrical over, and we can finally attack this run. I think I can get that done in one day, the electrical part, but that will be a big day. So these are all gonna be videos that we're gonna do. We're gonna get as much done as we can today. I would love to get the dividing walls all in. Boom, 2, 3, 4. All right, so it's only 4 dividing walls. These are already done with that new lumber. So, and then the doors, as you know, get cut out wherever we need them. This cage still doesn't have, well, it has the door stops. Well, it's tacked, but no door. And you see the electrical has been sneaking through this door here. So if we can get some permanent we could get this stupid extension cord out of the hallway. That cord piled up in there. But this is not one of the enclosures we're concentrating on. Even though it has a slab and everything ready to go, it's not one we're concentrating on. And then we have the 3 albinos over here. Yeah, so doors, yeah, we have the 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doors. That's a lot, and all this has to be trimmed out. At least all the plumbing's there, that's good. The dirt's in them. But for the iguanas, I want that sand surface. So I am going to dig out half the level of this dirt and replace it with the white sand like there is in this enclosure. This one is a little high, so some of the sand can end up in the other one, which is great. But I want the iguanas on the white sand. So that is 4 enclosures that have to be half dug out in the hallway with buckets and turned to white sand. Awesome. And I think losing my voice turned into like a whole bunch of, it aggravated my throat. It was scratchy, not a sore throat, but I think it led into a sinus infection is what happened. And I've definitely felt my energy go down from it. I almost should weed whack the weeds down real quick, just for the sake of insects and everything while we work. That might actually make it a bit easier in these enclosures. Maybe I'll go do that, and we'll start measuring and getting these walls done as fast as we can. All right, guys, I just took my straw hat off for a second just so I could film. Everything got weed whacked, and I did the first wall. And I'm gonna give you an explanation because, all right, it's just a rough sawn 1x6 wall. They call them livestock boards or corral boards. You guys know I use them in everything. The boards are a true 1 inch to 1.25 inches. Like this one is definitely 1.25 inches thick. So it's a much thicker lumber. It's rougher, and it's also wider than a finished 1x6. So a finished 1x6 is only 3/4 by 5.5. It's a much bigger piece of lumber and thicker, sturdier, more pressure treating in it. It's gonna last. And it's priced right because it's not finished. So this is a 12-foot run is what we're using in the enclosures. And I could, these are sold in 16-foot pieces. I could just rip 4 feet off and install the 4 boards over the submerged board that's in the dirt, right? So there's 5 boards running across this cage. The submerged board is a solid piece, but if you cut one to 12 foot, you have a 4-foot piece left over. So the most efficient way to lay this out is cut a 16-footer in half and then use that 4-foot scrap from one of the 16-footers and then do it with the 8-foot piece. So to make 12 feet. So the second row is a 4 and an 8, a full 12, a 4, an 8, and a full 12 on the top. And then all I do on the other side, which has to be done anyway, is this board right here. It's screwed into all the boards because if you didn't, in a 12-foot run, all these boards would get very staggered. They would weather and create gaps that animals can take advantage of and find their way through, where a male or a female is separated, or it's 2 totally different species on either side of that mesh. So this makes it more secure. Now, why does it make sense to have it staggered all the way over here? You technically should have another one over here, but no matter what, I am going to have that door frame on the other side, which acts the same as that board. In fact, it's up, over, and down, as you see in this Glacier and Tundra's enclosure. There's the door frame with the door. So that goes on the front side to make the wall sturdier. Or if there is no second door, you see there, I just add a second board. So if I added a door there later, something were of the same species on either side or whatever, male and female, I would remove that board and then let the door support the wall on that side. A couple screws and it's done. Now I'm gonna rip through the next two. I've already got the lumber here. I had to get some wasp spray and handle a wasp nest up underneath the boards there. I'm gonna get these two knocked out and then we'll do it on time lapse and get this one together. Once they're all up, still gonna have to come back with the staple gun and put a staple every 4 inches up top and every 2 inches on the bottom, minus that doorway. So this is gonna be, I think Frank on the other side, Tequila here, they stay together. So they're gonna have this massive 10 by 12 space together. So that door will just stay open. And if she wants time away from him, she'll be able to come and hang out on the other side, the other shelf. If we need to separate them, all we have to do is close that door later. And then Angus, Trace, surprise iguana. I need to get moving. It's already got to be mid-morning. I would love to have all this done before lunch because I've got to get work on those hide box slabs. If I could do one section every day, which is 2 slabs, and remember, after I do the slabs, I still have to bury those boards in the dirt, tap on them to the slabs, put the dirt back. I don't think I have to do lay boxes in for the female iguanas, but I will do a pile of dirt up on one side for them to dig in, to know that they have a place. And if the iguanas get to that age where they're doing it, I know Kennons lay with no heat pad or whatever, because I think they're more seasonal than the water monitors and such. And they do it in one of the warmer months. So we shouldn't have an issue. Shouldn't. Oh gosh, shouldn't have any issues. All right, I'm gonna get started on these walls, and my mind has been working while I'm cutting this lumber, thinking about how we're gonna solve the hide boxes and the lay boxes this summer, and I think I have an idea. Obviously that'll be a future video, but my mind is always racing, always working. So sometimes little monotonous chores like this, repetitive, gives me time to think. I'm gonna get going on it. All right, guys. Wow, it's nice to be in the hallway and in the shade. Boba is checking in on my progress. How we doing, Boba? Oh, come on, give us a tongue flick. Boba. Boba. No. Kagan will get him the tongue flick. All right, that wall's done, minus stapling the backside. That wall's done, that wall's done. And as I promised, I'll do that last one with you guys on time lapse. I did put the middle support already tacked in from the other side. That way I can just screw them from this side as I go. Oh, now the dogs are joining me, so maybe Kagan's coming out. I'm gonna try and get this last one done before lunch. And I think we're gonna do the concrete after that. So as soon as we come back from lunch, we're gonna jump on those 2 concrete slabs and then probably get as much of this trim done here on the outside and everything done before we do the doors. We could probably do the doors with some of the shorter pieces from the scrap, but while we have all those long pieces, we probably need to do those long runs and all that stuff on the outside. All right, let's get this last wall up. All right, that's the last wall done. But like I said, they all have to be stapled, but I gotta stop for lunch, rest for a little bit, and come back and hit it again. All right, guys, it's after lunch, and I have the 2 hide box slab forms screwed. This one on this side, the one on the other side. And there was one bucket of dirt that was sitting already filled in here. And of course the ants came up through that hole and had an ant hill in the entire bucket of dirt. So I've had to spray stuff on the ants. They're doing illegal there, but I mean, you can see all the queen ants, or the females with their wings and all that stuff in there. Hopefully they'll settle down. The ants are all over in this dirt. Hopefully they're now dying. I sprayed some poison on them. I'm gonna give this one a second to rest. We'll fill the dirt in the other one for now. And instead of going to our back pile of dirt, I already said earlier in the video that I wanna dig out half of this dirt. So what I'm gonna do is, with my 2 buckets at a time, start taking 3 of the 6 inches of dirt out of this enclosure, skimming it with the square head shovel. And obviously this enclosure is gonna need some dirt to do its hide box slab. But if I could take 3 inches out of this one and 3 inches out of this one, oh gosh, what did I say we're doing for iguanas? 5 of these enclosures? I mean, I suppose this is the 5th enclosure. I guess we'll be taking dirt out of this one. So this one, I won't have to walk that far. I'll just start taking 3 inches out of this one here. And better than doing things twice, right? We got to remove it anyway. So I'll do that. It's going to be a bit of a pain because of the sod and stuff in it. Maybe on the surface, I'll have cleaner dirt. Maybe I'll use the stuff with the grass on the bottom that I'm not going to mess with, use cleaner dirt, because I think you guys remember how I load the slab, but I'll show you a quick video of it when I'm done. All right, man, digging is not my thing right now. Oof. I actually dug down a little bit too deep, but I mean, I've removed the sod from that area, plus a couple inches of dirt. I probably could put an inch back before we put the sand in here. So I probably could have got half of this enclosure done doing these 2 slabs. But that is somewhat of a loaded slab. Usually it's so perfectly rectangular with squared edges, but the soil is so dry. Like, we are in the height of our drought right now. And it's just like sugar sand. It just pours back in. So I'm gonna have to pour the sides real wet and then pour the top so it doesn't slide into the sides, because I do want that slab to be much thicker around the corners and edges and go down lower than my form. You see, it goes 2.5 inches lower than my form. That way I have something to screw the wood to stop an animal from digging underneath that slab. I could show you over here. Those who have been watching the channel have seen me do this before, and you'll see it in an upcoming video. But there is the board that is Tapcon that stops an animal from digging underneath that poured slab. So I'm gonna get some concrete and get these 2 poured up. So tomorrow, oh, that's pretty cool. Diamond is actively digging right now, hopefully to lay eggs. That would be cool to get some good black-throat eggs. Get these 2 done, then I can pull the form and do 2 more the next day. So in 3 days, we could be done pouring hide box slabs for good. For good. So I'm gonna get that stuff, get that done. I'll show you the finished product. Now I've got the 2 slabs poured, this side, and you can see the one on the other side is done. Oof, definitely feeling it today. Now I need to start getting the upright trim pieces, which should be the longer pieces. I've got to cut them to length, and you know, I've got to rip that corral board in half to create the strips that will fit on the 4x4 posts to hold the screen and the staples. As you see, the staples are already somewhat rusted, and that's going to hold it all in place. So obviously I have all those in there, and then I need to measure the ones for out here. There's a couple long ones that need to be done. Those are 2 full lengths, and then we have all the rest to fill in. We just have that back half to do there. I'm gonna get to measuring and cutting. I finished everything on the outside, although I've only put in every third screw or just end screws on some of them because I'm running low on the 2.5-inch screws. And I'd like to get all these at least cut and tacked up today, so tomorrow I can work on different project, different equipment altogether. So just trying to get all this hung. It looks immensely better, and I still need to go back over all this wire. It seems so simple, but this vinyl coated, or I don't know, I guess it's vinyl coated galvanized wire mesh. It's not galvanized. It all starts to rust as soon as it gets a scrape on it, and it gets shipped scraped. There's continuous scrapes, and then it's already starting to rust. The roof is galvanized. There's no rust on it whatsoever. So, you know, it's what did I get it through? Amazon, and I guess they can just lie about what they're sending you. Good luck getting your money back when it's already hung, right? So I got to paint it with Rust-Oleum for it to last. And really, we're probably going to have to go back and replace some of these sheets, but that won't be so bad when everything's built. Pull a couple strips off and replace the exterior sheets or something like that, which is probably what Kagan and I will do. Just talking to the camera today, I could feel my voice wavering a little bit. Even that's too much talking for me. I'm in the hallway now. Why didn't I do the hallway first when it was hot out and then go out to the outside section once it cooled off? That would have been a lot smarter. So I'm gonna start cutting all the long lengths, and I have 2 corral boards that are super wavy. As soon as they dried, they're just like super wavy. They're gonna be perfect for all these little short lengths. I can cut them, rip them in half. Those big wavy marks aren't gonna do anything in a 2.5-foot span. So everything, all the uppers and all that stuff's all small pieces. So I'll be able to eat up those boards here in the hallway. So I'll start tacking in the uprights and get this sucker knocked out. It'd feel really good to have this done today. Boba's been curiously watching us the whole time. There you go, buddy. There you go. Egg. Oh, he's gonna look so good after his shed. I bet you he's gonna explode with growth out here. He's good with his egg. He wants to know where the next one is. Wow, it seems like the temperature has gotten hotter and their appetites. We're gonna have to add another feeding during the week. It seems like I've had to roll eggs into quite a few monitors today while I was working. You see them like anxiously hunting or looking for food. I have one more board. This one was cut just a little long that I have to trim. I almost have them all done. God, I can't tell you guys, you know, looking through the GoPro, it just doesn't impact you the same way to look down the hallway and see it finally, excuse me, all trimmed out. It looks so much better. So much better. I'm gonna get that last board trimmed out, and that's a wrap. It's probably like 7 p.m. right now. All those wall dividers are done, minus the staples, but I think I'll form up the doors where I'm gonna need the doors, and that way I don't add any staples that I'm gonna have to remove later. And we'll do that on a cage by cage basis. I think once we get the slabs, I might race through the slabs, and then we'll start doing a video getting the rhino iguanas out here, which would be really cool. I know that we're gonna wanna add a bunch more shelving, similar to what we did in Boba's enclosure with the additional shelf up front, maybe even a runner going along. So if they had another shelf up here, maybe even attach it some way so there's a nicer way to walk around. I don't know, do it different. It's an iguana enclosure, a rock iguana enclosure. I don't think we have access to any rocks right now, but that would be cool to add some rocks. And we need to be choosier about what plants go in here, because what we put in here, we don't want them to eat something that could possibly be bad for them. So it may be void of plants at first. We'll have to, Kagan and I will discuss that and do a little research. Maybe give Kenan a call and see what he thinks. I don't know if he has plants or not in his, honestly. I've been over and seen him so many times, I never paid attention. The dust in this backyard, driving over that fresh dirt and cutting all that lumber hasn't been easier on my throat. It's actually made it quite a bit worse. So I think I'm gonna call it, guys. I'm gonna get that last board up and try and get some rest. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and comment. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.